Hello and welcome to NFL Chaos with Jeremy. I am Jeremy and I bring the chaos. And today is my first time doing a specific show. It's the call-in show. That's right. You asked for it and you got it. You wanted call-ins. It started with Rusty. He said, why don't you have a call-in show? And now we have a call-in show. I don't know if this technology is going to work. I might just have to be wearing these headphones for no reason, looking even weirder than I usually work. Look, now I look like one of those guys from Flash Gordon, that's like those 50 guys typing and everything, that they rip the earphones off and they go. But anyway, here I am. My wife is going to call and test if it works. So I'm going to need somebody in the chat to tell me if it's working, if they hear me. What's up, Jets Mess? Later on, I'll be eating some food. Don't worry. It's Saturday cheat day, baby. Saturday cheat day. Some Jewish people celebrate the Sabbath with all kinds of restrictions. I go the opposite way. Saturday's the day I get to eat. And I've already eaten a lot, man. My stomach is rumbling. I have stuffed myself. I went out in the morning and got a bunch of boar's heads, like sliced meats and like a French baguette, and made a giant sandwich for breakfast. And I got... what do I got in the freezer? Oh, yeah, Swanson chicken TV dinner. 51 years old, and I still like TV dinners. Back in my day, we had aluminum foil cooking trays. That's what they were made out of. You cooked the TV dinners. Now, I don't do the microwave. I still bake because it tastes better that way. But I might microwave today. We'll see. Exactly. Lee is at a play in Broadway, so he won't be calling in. At least I highly doubt it. Breakfast. Text me the pics. I can't. Leave me alone. I'm busy. Maxwell, offensive line today. And then Michael Clemens, defensive end that I never heard of. Those are our picks for today. Not as exciting as yesterday, but we did need offensive line. So you got your guy. He's one of the guys we liked. We used to mock him all the time. So we did get an offensive line. Guys, this is your chance to call in. If you want to call into the show, hopefully somebody will at some point, but not before my wife does, because I want to see that it works. So I'm glad people are here to tell me if it's working or not. Are you covering that food and sauce, Jeremy? Somebody said they lost their voice in the Jet Lounge, and I wanted to say it so bad. I wanted to say, because people were saying take honey and lemon to get your voice back. And I said, oh, so this is what we learned. We learned that honey and lemon helps. Taking honey and lemon helps get you your voice back. Taking sauce helps you lose your voice. I don't know. Like a Swanson TV dinner, man. I got the boneless chicken that comes with the brownie and the corn and the mashed potatoes. I just can't stop. I love those, man. Ever since I was a kid, I never stopped liking them. I was going to get frozen White Castle hamburgers and steam them. But I don't know. I think... this phone call thing might be happening. I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me try to get somebody to call. I don't know if it was ringing or not, or trying to ring. I'm sharing it, so we should have heard it or something. So just bear with me. Can I do a poll? I haven't figured out. I got to learn how to do polls. I don't know if I could do polls yet. Apparently, we're getting a call. Let me see if I can answer this. Okay, I think it's
call from Ramsey. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Okay, you guys are going to tell me if you could hear it. So I need you guys to tell me if you can hear it. Talk, honey.
Hi.
Hi. You want a different kind of cheese compliment next time? You're getting tired of the cheese that I'm buying?
I feel like you're really just stuck on pepper jack, but I was never consulted about this.
You guys hear her? Matthias says yes. Matthias Simon says yes, that he could hear you. Check, you're good. V-Man says he can hear you. All right, so that's it. It's official. I have call-in. The number is right there on your screen. The banner's going across. Honey, I'm sorry. I'll buy some good cheddar cheese next time, or Swiss. Okay.
Like, wait, that's not. No, you never heard of Swiss?
I will get Swiss. Okay. I'm sorry. I like pepper jack. I like the peppers. I like the heat. But meanwhile, I got to get back to the show. Thanks for calling in.
Love it.
Love you too. Okay, so we see this is working. Garrett Hem is asking which show Paul Riley. Oh, well, let me get to this. We got a call coming in. Let's see who
Call
it's
from
V-Man.
V-Man is calling
To
in.
accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hey, V-Man, what's up, buddy?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm going to answer one question for Garrett Ham real fast. Garrett, the episode that Paul Riley is on was on a Wednesday, and I think it was like 2 Wednesdays ago, or maybe 3 Wednesdays ago. So you have to check the Wednesday episodes. Probably not the one that just passed to the one before that. So I'd go back 3, and you'll probably find them. But V-Man, how you doing, buddy? How you feeling?
Good. If you want to see how good I'm feeling, I just sent you a picture on Twitter that it summarizes the Jets offseason in a nutshell.
Okay. And you sent it on Twitter?
Yeah, I sent you a picture. Why don't you check it out?
Okay. Let me check it out and see if I can find it here. I don't know how I'm going to get it onto the screen because I don't have Twitter on the computer because it's a work computer. So it shows the picture. Oh, wow. Okay, I like it. Let me see if I can blow this up and show it on screen so people can. There we go. We can see it.
Yeah, that pretty much is the Jets in a nutshell. I mean, it's like a bear. Like, it is just an incredible, just excellent draft. Like, I'll be honest. At first, I was not. Most of the picks were surprising for me.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Wilson and Jermaine Johnson, every other pick I was surprised by.
Yeah, the first pick surprised me, obviously, even though I know he's a great player. The second pick was my number 2 wide receiver, and I knew there was a chance they were going to go for him and not Williams, so that didn't blow me away. I was more surprised that Atlanta went Drake London.
That surprised me.
Yeah.
But, hey, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, and I was just concerned. I was like, I'm excited about these players.
And then I know I was the same way. I texted my cousin, how are we going to hit the quarterback? And he's like, oh no, and he's like just sending me angry faces.
Yeah.
And then of course at the end of the first round you get finally Jermaine Johnson, and you just feel like after like maybe a little bit of frustration, everything relaxes, you calm down, you're like, okay, this is a very good draft. And then yesterday, you get like the running back. I did not see Mac coming at all, but more weapons. They are doing everything to make sure Zach Wilson had an easy time behind center.
Yeah.
And then to top it all off, you get the local boy tight end. I mean, Jeremy Rucker, who, let's remind everybody, when he was accepted to Ohio State, was the number 1 ranked tight end in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's like the talent. I mean, the picture I sent you summarizes the Jets like now. It's like when Joe Douglas took over this team, it was just bare bones scrap heap. And, I mean, we are just loaded with weapons on offense. I mean, it's like your 5th wide receiver is Denzel Mims. It's like your 3rd tight end, your 4th tight end, your 3rd tight end is Jeremy Ruckert. Your 3rd running back is What's his name?
Trayvon Coleman. Tavon Coleman.
Tevin Coleman is like just like a few years ago we were forced to watch Frank Gore run up the middle. It's like the amount of talent is insane. It's mind-boggling just to think that we have so much. And then you know what made the day even better? What made the draft even better?
What's that?
The Patriots were just awful.
Yeah. The Patriots were. Cole Strange was a tremendous reach. I mean, in most of those mocks, we were grabbing him in the 5th round, literally, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then so I made a joke about the Patriots. And you want to hear it?
Yeah.
What do the Patriots and the Russian cruiser Moskva have in common?
What?
They're both smoldering wrecks.
Oh my God. I love it, man. Look, it was when they announced that trade and then they came up to that podium and said Jermaine Johnson, it totally spun and twisted those first 2 picks and gave it a whole new perspective. Like everything came together. Everything was just different the moment that happened, because it went from what about our edge to we just had the draft where it could have been Jermaine Johnson, Garrett Wilson at 4 and 10, but now we were able to trade 35 for 26 for a 69th pick, or swapping a 69th pick for a 101 and a 163. And that's all we had to pay to get Sauce Gardner, which is just off the charts. It's just insanity to me. It was like
I
JD's
mean, it's
brilliant.
like, I know, it's amazing. You know it's a great draft when not even the guys and not even Boston sports radio can piss on you. Because I was curious because I got cousins in Massachusetts, so I sometimes check out what their radio hosts say.
Mhm.
It was the most hilarious thing. It's like they're pissed off at their draft, and then they say this, and I quote you, this is word for word what they said about the Jets. And then the New York Jets looked you square in the face, kicked you square in the nuts, and laughed at you because they had an awesome draft.
Wow. I mean, look, it's like fine to like Cole Strange. We all like Cole Strange, but we didn't have him as a first round pick, right? We liked him in the 4th or the 5th round.
Yeah, it's like he's a 4th, 5th, at most a 3rd round pick, and you reach. I mean, like for example, they traded back to that pick to get Cole Strange. So theoretically speaking, they could have picked Jermaine. They could have had Jermaine Johnson.
Right.
They passed him up.
It's true.
So if Jermaine Johnson becomes, an all-pro edge, registering double-digit sacks for an 8-year stretch, they're going to look like a bunch of morons.
Absolutely.
Just any of the players they passed on. I mean, their defense is Swiss cheese.
Right.
It's like, and then it's like, I mean, for the first time in a long time, you can legitimately say this, and I know even saying it is still going to be crazy for some people to comprehend. But right now, on paper, the Jets are a better team.
Yeah. Oh, well, on paper, I mean, it's hard to argue that. When healthy, I mean, there's a lot. Well, the only issue with our team, and it's not really an issue, is that Zach Wilson is a question mark. It's not that he's a.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Like, that's it. The only issue is is Zach Wilson the guy? Because I mean, the weapons are there, and look, I get it. We would have liked to get a linebacker, safety, but it's not like we have terrible options there. I mean, look, not everybody is a fan of Quincy Williams. Maybe like him more as a depth piece than an actual starting linebacker, but he's not awful. CJ Mosley can still play, so you got 2 of 3 there. And then the guys they drafted last year, they've got some experience under their belt. Maybe in year 2 they'll take a big leap. And then the safety, like I said, you got Jordan Whitehead, you got LaMarcus Joyner, so you got some veteran presence there. And look, if we got one hole back there, it's not the end of the world. Especially if you can get a steady pass rush, it'll cover up those deficiencies.
Yeah. No, I agree. And what did you think of today's picks? What did you think of Max Mitchell?
Well, I think it's good. Well, look, you do need some offensive line depth because nobody wants to see Connor McDermott get another boneheaded holding call, like at the worst possible moment.
Yep. Now, a lot of people are upset that we didn't get a safety and a linebacker. What do you think that means? What is JD telling us when he
I think he's telling you that they do have that Saleh and Ulbrich are fairly confident with their current stock of linebackers and safeties.
Yep, I agree. That's exactly what it tells me. If Sherman would have been any other kind of injury, I would be like, okay. But I feel like the Achilles is really scary. Again, like for everybody who pulled it, with the Achilles, it's scary. But Sherman's young. Can he come back from this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I said, it's just like look. For years, the Jets have been a team that have all but ignored their offense. So I mean, to complain that we didn't do enough on defense, I think is a bit ridiculous given our history. Yeah.
I I thought our defense, from a year ago is a lot better now. I mean, Carl Lawson coming back, even if he's not 100%, and he could be, we don't know. But Carl Lawson, Jermaine Johnson, JFM could now move to the inside and play a little on the inside with Q Williams, getting Solomon to play on the inside, Rankins, and we have a ton of players on the defensive line. Our secondary is night and day. I mean, obviously, we now have. It's night and day. Our secondary.
DJ Reed, Sauce Gardner, Jordan Whitehead. That's a lot of upgraded talent there.
Yep.
I mean, like I said, and I guess now that the draft is over and pretty much the off season's all but wrapped up, I guess I can come out with my top 5 hot takes.
All right.
So number 1, we're going to have at least one Pro Bowler on offense, defense, and special teams.
Okay,
that one's not that big of a hot take. I don't think that's hard. Number 2, Zach Wilson will will set franchise records in passing yards, touchdowns, quarterback rushing yards, and completion, and fewest interceptions. Okay, so that's that. Number 3, because I think this one, and this is merely that we will have at least one player either be in the mix for one player is going to either be in the mix. It's either going to win offensive or defensive rookie of the year.
Wow.
I just look. None of the quarterbacks are going to win offensive rookie of the year. It's going to go. It's probably, which means it's going to go to a wide receiver
or a running back.
I don't see anything. I don't really. This is a weak quarterback class. I don't see the running backs. It's either going to go to a wide receiver or running back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the best running back in the draft anyway. So
by far, in my opinion, by far.
Yeah, by far. So, like I said, and look at the other wide receivers. Look at Jameson Williams is probably going to be out for a good amount of time. So you can scratch him off. Drake London, who's throwing to him? Marcus Mariota. Is he really going to be able to put up that numbers? And then same thing with Chris Olave, Traylon Burks. They don't have anybody. The Titans' offense still runs through Derrick Henry. So
yeah.
It's so that's 3. Okay, 4. See. Okay, 4. The Jets will finish no lower than 3rd place.
Okay.
And then 5. The Jets will be in contention for one of the final wild cards.
I don't dispute any of that. I think all of that's possible if we stay healthy and Zach takes the next step, which is not a big if.
It's not a big if. The thing is, I think it all depends. Look, I think the Patriots, their offseason was terrible. They stood pat. They have so many issues. They can't beat good teams. I mean, this is their actual record in the last 3 years versus winning clubs. They are 8-18 in the last 3 seasons against winning teams. And they're jumping from a third place schedule to a second place schedule. So the competition's only going up. So they're probably, like I said, they can't beat any good teams. The AFC is stacked. I see them falling to 4th place. So I don't see us, as much as I would love to see us unseat the Bills, I'm not sure if we're quite ready there yet. So it's all between us and the Dolphins. And I mean, yes, the Jets certainly do have a bit of an edge there in certain aspects. Wilson's in the same system. He's familiar with the coaching staff. But then again, there is some advantages in the Dolphins, so it's a toss-up. I can't really figure out where they're going to be there. But I think every other aspect, I think I'm spot on.
No, I don't think anything you're saying is bad at all. It's all reasonable. I mean, if you look at our roster on paper, it's about Zach Wilson and it's about staying healthy. In that case, it's hard on paper to see why we can't make the playoffs. And Zach, if you look at the way he played in the last 6 games of the year, even that kind of play with a little bit, it doesn't even have to be the biggest step. He doesn't have to light it up. But he was a good game manager. He wasn't turning the ball over. He was doing what he needed to do, making the third down conversions when he needed to. He really wasn't. It really wasn't bad at all. I think most people that criticize Zach Wilson look at the stats and the numbers instead of watching the play. And anybody who watched, right.
The thing is, numbers don't like. It's a rookie season. It's like every rookie season is going to be like. Look, when you start, everything could always be a bit messy. It's like, like look at Peyton Manning was terrible. Terry Bradshaw was terrible. He was constantly getting pulled in and out. Every other game, you get pulled in and out for like the backup. John Elway was not fantastic. Troy Aikman was. And then you look at Josh Allen right now. He was. I mean, none of these guys exactly lit it up. Look, your rookie season neither determines nor denies like what you're going to do as a player.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I mean, we look at Saquon Barkley. He had a phenomenal rookie season, different position, but like he's never replicated it. We look at Baker Mayfield, phenomenal rookie season, set the record for most touchdowns by a rookie. I mean, and now he's out. He's not even a starter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. Nothing you do in your rookie season is going to determine anything because you have to either build upon it or continue it.
So Nathan is appreciating you right now. He likes your depth of thought, and I've always said it. The man is a smart young man. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Grandizer, are you who's insulted Grandizer? He loves that. He loves putting that in there. You insulted him just a little bit. You're a little out of line yourself. That was that goes back to the fight from 6 weeks ago with Rusty. Hey, Rusty was the reason I'm doing this. This is great. Like he's the one that suggested this. I don't know how bad is bad. I forget who was called bad, but look, I think that on paper, it's looking like I could make an argument why we could give like the Dolphins a run for their money. I'm not saying, we're better than the Dolphins. Everybody's running to just say things like that. I'm not going to say that. The Dolphins have a good team.
Well, no, the thing about the Dolphins, the thing about we could beat the Dolphins is simply, well, look at the thing. Tua has got like the worst luck. I mean, this is his fourth offensive system that he has to learn in 3 years.
Yeah, it's not easy for Tua. The reason, on paper, I could say if we stay healthy, that I just think we're going to go back to the days where the Jets and the Dolphins have a rivalry, and we have very competitive games that can go either way. That's what I see, because our offensive line is really good now. We've got a lot of talent in the wide receiver room, a lot of talent in the running back room, a lot of talent in the tight end room. If Zach takes the right step, if he manages the game well, we are right up there in offense. We're capable of long, sustained drives. We're capable of big plays.
Definitely. It's look, you could break this all season down by each starting point. So pre-off season, we're about a 5-win team. Free agency, we're about a 6-7 win team. After the draft, we're about an 8-9 win team. And if Zach can, let's say, breaks out, it doesn't even have to be like super March, and you're looking at 10-11 plus.
It's very possible. So I think we're going to compete with the Dolphins. I think, and I say split. I'm not going to get all crazy and say we're going to sweep the Dolphins. We haven't beat the Dolphins in 3 years. So let's be realistic. I think that we can play very competitively and steal a game from the Dolphins. I think we could play against New England and steal a game against New England. I think
honestly, this is going to be controversial.
Mm-hmm.
But I see more than that. I see massive regression from New England. Like, I don't even think they're going to be – like, I see them easily being under 500.
Wow.
Like I don't see them – I just don't see it. They didn't do enough. Their defense is bad. And like I said, they can't beat competitive football teams. I mean, you look at their 3 wins against winning teams last year. It was the injured Titans, the choking Chargers, and the Bills in a windstorm. So it's like, how is that impressive? Like, so I'm going to say this, and I know people aren't ready for this because we haven't done this, since 2000, but actually sweep a division sweep the Patriots.
Yeah. I think it's going to be very interesting when you look at the AFC. The AFC is just a crazy, crazy conference right now because you got the Chargers and the Chiefs and the Raiders and Denver, which is just out of control right now. But then you're right, New England could definitely, because of that, take a step back because the Jets got better. Miami is just getting tougher and tougher. They keep adding players. Don't underestimate Miami. I know people don't believe in Tua, but Miami just helped bulk up their offensive line. They're addressing their issues. And then you got Buffalo. They might take a step back. They might not. I mean, they still have Josh Allen, right? I mean, there's still a ton of talent there. The point is I think that what is going to ultimately our division is hard to predict. It really is. I mean, you have to, obviously the experts are going to favor Buffalo. But I think Miami, New England, and the Jets are really it's going to be very interesting the next couple of years to see who rises out of that smoke, and to see who comes up and is the team in the division and who is the biggest challenge to the Bills and to unseat the Bills and become be the king of the hill or top of the hill in the division. And then you have to kind of question, what is the impact of having to play each other? But then again, the Chargers, Denver, and those teams all have to play each other twice also. So it's going to be really hard, as much as people think, oh, the AFC is so dominant. It's going to be really hard for the AFC to have dominant records because they all have to play each other so much.
Oh, definitely. It's definitely a stacked division. It's a stacked conference. I mean, the level of talent is, but there's also some teams, there that are, they're going to be pretty easy to beat up on. There are fair share of teams that are at the bottom of the rung. Not many, but they are there.
Yeah. And why Tego got his guy Match Mitchell. As soon as that pick went in, I thought of Tego. And I was glad that it was a guy we knew. It wasn't some no-name offensive lineman out of nowhere. It was a guy that I already had some information on. I thought it was a nice pick to give us that depth and tackle, and maybe he's our future tackle someday. So that was kind of an exciting pick to me. Even though some people think offensive line is boring, I do not think offensive line is boring. To me, it's the heart of the offense. Right. So it's nice to have a Miami fan acknowledge, that we're going to be a threat. And I acknowledge it right back about Miami. I think I'm looking forward to the Miami Jets games meaning something, meaningful Dolphin Jets games. Because I grew up on
I agree completely. Yeah. Let's see right now, who are the worst teams in this? Yeah, this is the conference is really stacked. The Bills are stacked. I'm probably going to do a pecking order in this. Honestly, this whole division, this whole conference is very stacked. But there were some teams I'm probably going to put towards the bottom rungs. Is probably the Texans, Steelers, Jaguars. So they're probably Colts are mid-tier. Honestly, yeah, and probably put New England towards the lower rung as well.
Yeah, I don't see the Jacksonville as being an easy win. With all the players they added, if Trevor takes the next step, I think we could be surprised about what Jacksonville can do because he had moments. It's not like he threw a lot of picks and made mistakes, but he also threw a lot of touchdowns. He also threw for a lot of yardage. He also, he showed why he was such a highly regarded quarterback coming out. Their offensive line, they made some improvements there. They got some they didn't get the crazy stars, but they did put in pieces. So I'm not thinking anybody's going to go into Jacksonville and just walk all over them.
No, you know what I can't wait for though? I can't wait to go in. I can't wait to beat up on the Seahawks. That's going to be a fun one.
I hope we win that game. It would be really fun to beat Jamal Adams. It would be really embarrassing to lose based on the fact that, who's their quarterback right now?
Drew Lock.
Yeah, so it would be embarrassing to lose that game. It would be a really poor indicator of us. Like what is all this for if we can't beat a team that has Drew Lock as their quarterback or Geno Smith?
Let's see. see, our schedule is what? All right, so we got let's see, NFC is so we have the Seahawks. Okay, yeah, we do play the Seahawks. So our NFC North. So we probably beat the Seahawks, the Bears, the Lions, probably the Vikings because they're a meh team. And then everything else is probably at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh should be easy. It's Trubisky. He doesn't really scare you. It's either going to be Trubisky or Kenny Pickett, so there. And I think we should at least be able to take at least one win against each division team in the AFC East. So let's see. That's 3. 3. Then you had the Seahawks. You had the Lions, the Bears, the Vikings. That's 7. So like I said, right now, so far at least 7 wins. I can see on the schedule.
Yeah. And it's just that I'm not afraid of or any team thinking we can't beat these teams anymore. I mean, we beat Cincinnati last year. We beat Tennessee last year. I mean, we played toe-to-toe with Tampa and practically won that game with a decimated team. We were missing 3 offensive linemen. We were missing our top 3 receivers. We were playing with garbage heap safeties. I mean, and we went toe-to-toe with Tampa Bay. That means that we're capable of any week. If somebody sleeps on us, they're going to get beat. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's like Cleveland. It all depends on when we play Cleveland because they're probably gonna. Watson's probably gonna get a couple game ban. So if we get Cleveland early, that's probably a win.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so but everything else, there really aren't any games on the schedule where it's like, okay, there's no chance that you can beat that. There really isn't. I mean, yes, the Jets' schedule is tough, but with how much talent they've added, if the Jets can at least play up to their potential, don't even play up to the potential of this roster, there isn't a game on this schedule that's not impossible to win.
Yep. No, definitely not. There's no, we say that even when we stink, like, oh, they still have to play the game on Sunday, but now we can actually believe it a little bit, right? I mean, obviously we have to show it on the field, but it's hard to imagine. I mean, those first 4 picks, hard to imagine. We don't know how good JJ or what his ceiling could be, but everyone thinks it's not like star or bust. It's not like he's either going to be 15 plus sacks a year or he's going to be 4 sacks a year. He could be his rookie year, a guy who gets 8 to 10 sacks. Carl Lawson gets 10 to 12 sacks. Quinnen Williams gets 8 sacks. And all of a sudden, JFM gets his 5 to 8 sacks. And, so, Huff gets a few. And overall, as a defensive line, we're still great and we're winning games. It doesn't have to be we need one superstar, and it's having a lot
that's
of –
the thing. Solid defensive lines have always been interchangeable parts. It's like So, that's the thing. Like I said, there is no like, oh, we can't win this. Oh, and, we can't do that. It's there. You just got to do it.
No, absolutely. And it's just, and our coaches are going to hopefully get better, like they're growing, they're young, and they're, Salah's going to have a different kind of walk now because he's went through that first year. He knows what his job is. He knows, what worked and what didn't work. And LaFleur, as soon as they got him back up, as soon as they got him in the booth, he took off and now he's come in with a year under his belt. There's a lot of, so there's a lot of good things going on this team in every area, even the coaching. And, we don't talk about that a lot, but it's definitely there. It's a young team too, which could be in some ways, it could be, negative. People say young and inexperienced, but at the same time, there's an energy to youth.
What they lack in experience, they make for in enthusiasm.
Yeah. These guys, and they're hungry young guys who want to build a name for themselves. And the second-year players are only going to come back better. That's what typically happens in the NFL. You're usually better your second year than your rookie year, typically. And I believe in the character of these guys that's what's going to happen. We're going to see a better Michael Carter because he's going to hopefully stay healthier.
Oh my God! Someone just said the words that are not to be spoken.
This one.
Which one?
I'm shooting my shot right now. The Jets will be the Bengals of last year.
Yep. Oh God! Did you really have to say that?
Well, it's fun wishful thinking.
I know. I know it's fun and wishful thinking, but oh my God! If that were to happen, I don't know I don't know how I comprehend. I don't know if I'd be able to comprehend it.
It would be great. I mean, look, there's always, I'm not going to say it like or count on it or say it's going to happen, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that Zach takes more than just a step. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Zach explodes. And here's why. Because if you look at the plays where he had more than 1.7 seconds, this is what he had before he was pressured. And if all of a sudden with Laken Tomlinson and Becton coming back, this offensive line gives him better than average protection. If you look at Zach Wilson in the plays where he had better than average protection, those numbers are very different. So what if a very strong, powerful, dominant running game that pulls extra guys into the box, where we could just eat you alive and force you to put more guys in the box and create those play action passes with good pass protection? What if Zach Wilson explodes? And I'm not saying explode like a Mahomes. I'm talking like a Tannehill in Tennessee. What if he just jumps right into the top 15 of quarterbacks and is very accurate and is very proficient because he's throwing to one-on-one coverage because the other team is forced to put guys in the box? What if that was to happen? When you look at the rest of our roster, I'm telling you, it's just we don't know what the ceiling is for this team. It's very exciting. It's like I'm not predicting it's going to happen. I'm just saying it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing. With this roster, I don't think anything is impossible. They've done such a phenomenal job. And also, let's be honest. If let's say it does happen. Let's say they start off on a hot note. There's no telling what they'll do, because if you start on a hot note and you're legitimately in contention, you can make a move and grab yourself a player at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
So they could, if they think, okay, we really got a shot for this. Let's say the Jets get off to a hot start. They're in the mix, and let's say one of these other teams like the Raiders or maybe a Chargers or something regresses or like one of these teams has an untimely injury and it's not their year, and they're like quickly dispelled from the contention. Mm-hmm. The Jets can certainly exploit that, and and Douglas is that he's going to improve his team every way possible. And if they think they can contend, and let's say they get off to a hot start, think they can contend next year, they will. There's no way they're not going to go into the deadline and look to make an upgrade.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. So we're talking about money. Do we have money in the cap? We tried to trade for Tyreek Hill, and we're about to pay him $25 million towards the cap in the first year of his contract. So what that tells me is that we have the ability to manipulate our money a certain way if we need to. So the answer to me is we can definitely bring in the Honey Badger. We are not done in free agents if we don't want to be, because somehow JD had a plan to spend $25 million. Keep in mind, there's a couple of guys we didn't cut yet that if we wanted to cut, we could add some, $3 million for Van Rotten. We could add. There's some more money that could be added into our cap. So we're definitely not out of it. I think that's why JD likes to keep that flexible, the cap flexible. He likes to have that flexibility. If the Honey Badger, if nobody's giving him the money he wants, if nobody's giving into the contract, maybe he comes to the Jets. I could totally see that. Or they believe in what they have. They like LaMarcus Joyner. They like Whitehead. They like Elijah Riley and Pinnock and Ashton Davis. Maybe they think they have a lot of guys, and it's going to be very competitive for playing time, and they believe that one of those guys is going to rise up and grow and become better.
Yep.
I mean, Jason Pinnock had a very small sample, so I'm not going to go over the top with him. But in that small sample, he played very well at safety. He did. He was a very well-rated safety. He played in that Tampa game. I mean, that wasn't against scrubs. That was against Tom Brady. Jason Pinnock played well. He was a good, solid safety. And that's a rookie who was just learning the position. We don't know the ceiling of this kid. Maybe in 2 years from now, he's a great safety in the league. We don't know. There's no way we can definitively say he isn't. The fact that he was able to step into that position and play well as a rookie and switch positions, we need to keep our minds open. We don't know what Jason Pinnock is.
Oh, I agree completely.
Yeah. So, it's exciting times. It's exciting times. Hey, V-Man, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. I'm going to give somebody else a chance now. I don't know if anybody else is trying or not, but, man, be sure to call in again, man. I love talking to you.
All right. Have a good day. Go Jets.
Take care, my brother. All right. That was V-Man on the phone. We all love our V-Man. Anybody else want to call in? Go ahead at any time. You're welcome to call in. We got some great conversation go. Isn't GVR an obvious candidate to cut? I think that people are asking why they haven't cut him, because the truth is $3 million is not a lot of money for somebody who has a lot of starting experience for a depth player. I know we don't like him and we're mad at him, but the reality is he's where he should be. He's a worthy of being in the NFL as a depth player. As much as we hate to admit it, he wasn't always horrible. It's not like he sucked every game. He played okay against, like, at the end. He actually played okay. We're mad at him because of the way he played in the beginning, but everybody was playing worse in the beginning when they were figuring out the system. Don't get me wrong. I do not want Van Rotten, and I do not want him to have to be in there. It's kind of like when Feeney's in there. But again, Feeney came in and played all right. Van Rotten has played well in his career, and at times last year he was actually serviceable. That's the best you're going to do, unless you have a young kid you're developing that's really good, and you have control of his contract. That's about the best you're going to do for $3 million. It's not like there are other guys out there for $3 million. But if we need to clear space, we'll make that sacrifice. We'll say, okay, we'll just have to go with a kid or a guy off the garbage heap if, as offensive guard depth, or we could move, we can move McGovern out to guard and Feeney at center. We have other options to get a guy that we really want, to have the space to get somebody that we really want. So I'm surprised that McGovern's on the team, but Van Rotten's on the team, but I understand why he's on the team. But he was pretty bad that first week. But, if you go by the last 5 or 6 weeks when he came in and, at the end, he was our weak link. But he's a backup guard. That's what he is. He's a backup guard. And a backup guard with starting experience is probably about a $2 to $3 million player. I mean, that's what other teams would probably value him at. I'm imagining if we cut him, somebody else would come along and pay him $2-3 million. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, he's just a serviceable guy. I mean, I'm pissed at him. Don't get me wrong. I'm pissed at him. But backup. I mean, that's why he would be a backup. That's why he is, in my mind, a backup. A backup is typically somebody, unless they're an up-and-coming guy or they got uprooted like LDT did in Kansas City by a great young player because of an injury. Unless it's a situation like that, there's a reason they're a backup. And that means that's why when somebody goes down to injury, you say, oh, man. Now, do we want young guys that we're developing that can come in and surprise us and play really well? Hell yeah. And that's what Max Mitchell is, right? He's a guy that it's the perfect situation. He's not a guy you want to draft and plug in. He's not a plug-and-play draft pick. He is a developmental offensive tackle that could end up being a very good starting tackle with we don't know the ceiling, right? Like sometimes you could hit. And he can end up, you don't know how good he could be. He can end up being a very good, like a George Fent. Like he could be very, very good. It's possible when he develops. But he also gives you the hope that if you have to bring him in his rookie year, he might be able to play and be serviceable and better than what we have now. Because they like his tape. They liked him. Tigo liked him. Right. So he saw things he liked. I think we all did. Everybody agreed when we were doing our mocks. This is a guy that might come in and be a good player. So we hope he doesn't have to play. We hope Fent and Becton stay healthy. But it's good to add some insurance. And then it's good to have long-term insurance for the future. If he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. Then we're going to have to use a top 2-round pick on an offensive tackle next year or sign somebody in free agency. Doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you got to keep throwing guys in the pipeline. You know what I mean? You got to keep throwing people in. It's like sales. They're going into this funnel. And some are going to come out the other end really good. They're going to be really great picks. But some of them aren't. So, but you got to keep the pipeline going. And Max Mitchell is a good guy to throw in the pipeline. He's a good opportunity. It's like a good lead. I'm talking like a salesman now. So we'll see. I thought again, watching the tape of when JD made that trade to 26 and he got the trade through and realized that he was getting JJ before we knew he was taking JJ, the way Salah came over and hugged him. I mean, the two of them have a chemistry that's just great. They're like on the same page. It made me think that Salah was begging him. Like the whole time he was trying to trade up, like to 15, to 16, to 17. Salah was sitting there going, I need my edge. Please get JJ. I need him. And when he hung up that phone and said, I did it, Salah just couldn't hold himself back. He went over and gave him a hug, and he was just like, oh, my God, we got my edge. And it's great because you saw that they're completely on the same page. As excited as JD was and excited as Robert Salah was, you know that they both are completely on the same page. They both loved JJ. I cannot wait to see One Jets Drive so we get the behind-the-scenes look at how that went down and what that phone call was like. And maybe they'll show some of the buildup of him trying to get it done. That's like priceless TV, man. That's exactly what I want to watch. So I'm hoping we'll get that. One of my concerns after this draft is that we didn't get better or deeper at inside OL. Yeah, I think the way we traded up for JJ and then Brees dictated that. Yeah, look, there was an impact because of those trades. We had to give something up to get something. So if you want to end up with Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson and Jermaine Johnson and Brees Hall, that wasn't going to come to us for free. Obviously, we had to give things up, and we had to give up some picks, and we weren't able to build the depth that we wanted or fantasized. But really think about this, okay? Sauce Gardner was a luxury. He was a dream for us, a lot of us. A lot of us argued you can't pick him. He's a luxury pick. Would love to have him. Great player, maybe the best in the draft. Surest thing in the draft, but you can't take him because of position need. We got JJ and Garrett Wilson. We got what everybody wanted. Some people liked JJ and had him ranked high as edge, and sometimes some people had him ranked lower, but he was a strong possibility to go at 4 anyway, or 10. And Garrett Wilson was a guy that was strong to go at 10 or even 4. People said, if you grab him at 4 if you have to, because he might go to Atlanta, and people were okay with that. So we got the 4 and the 10 in JJ and Garrett Wilson, but we got Sauce Gardner, who, man, if you remember what it was like to have Revis line up, like no matter, when you didn't have to fear any wide receiver that much. I mean, it didn't mean they weren't going to get any receptions, but you didn't have to worry, how are we going to stop this guy? It's impossible. We have that guy again. We have a guy that we could just stick on Jamar Chase. Just stick him there and say, I'm not saying that Chase is going to get shut down completely. I'm saying that Chase is not going to run all over us and be unstoppable. And the fact that we got Reed and Bryce Hall to handle the rest and Michael Carter II, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's exciting. And if we get to the quarterback, none of it matters. If we get to the quarterback, it doesn't matter. If Carl Lawson is a beast and plays what did he say, unworldly? If JJ is a hit and these guys are driving and pushing guys back and driving to the quarterback and filling that pocket and forcing the quarterback out and making the quarterback uncomfortable, it doesn't matter. Because if the quarterback doesn't have the time, if you're pounding the quarterback, we know this. You just got to meet these receivers on the line. You just can't let them bust open from the gate. You just have to stay with them right in the beginning and get to that quarterback. But we have cornerbacks that if they are able to slow us down, or the quarterback rolls left or rolls right and buys himself some time, we have cornerbacks now that could stay with top receivers. And Bryce Hall did it too. It's not like he didn't shut people down or hold people and contain them. So to me, when you have a CB1 shutdown guy and your CB2, CB3, Reed and Bryce Hall, whichever order, it's probably going to be DJ Reed, obviously. When you have DJ Reed, but then also Bryce Hall, and then your injury type protection is Eccles and Dunn. Isaiah Dunn is still fighting for a spot on the squad. And even Guidry, not just the backup to Michael Carter II, but Guidry could even back up and play corner and has that versatility. So much depth. Unbelievable depth. With guys that have all had experience because they all played last year. And they were all better than the other guy that we cut last year, right? They weren't garbage. They were good enough that we like them and see them as depth players on the team. Guidry is not horrible. He's an average middle, and in his second year undrafted, is a middle of the league slot corner. That's how he played. He's not as good as Michael Carter II, but he's not horrendous. He's not horrendous. He made plays. He did not get eaten alive. He is a reasonable slot receiver corner. And to have him as a backup to Michael Carter II, who was already top 10 in his rookie year and is probably heading to be possibly a top 3 slot receiver cornerback, our secondary is off the charts. I mean, that cornerback room is just looking amazing. I can't believe how we went and turned that around in 12 months. The turnaround in 12 months is just out of control. Unbelievable. We just have to love what JD has done with our cornerback room. And the defensive line and the cornerback room, both those rooms being strong now. Safety room, the only thing we're worried about is linebacker room. But if everything else is clicking, CJ and Quincy Adams might be enough. And, we'll see what happens when Sherwood comes back. And we'll see if they're done. Maybe they're going to do something. We don't know that they're not going to do something. We don't know that we're not going to get better linebackers in that can make plays. All of our questions will be answered. It's all going to happen. So we have to give it a chance. We can't be we have to stay open-minded. There's still hope that we could do this. Man, I like where this team is going. If there's no call-ins, I'll go. So this is kind of like a last call for alcohol. If you want to call in now. I might be on, what's the name? Proud Jets fan. Nick Scheid from Proud Jet Fan might go on later and do a little bit of a show later on this evening. I might pop into that. But I just wanted to test out this technology since we were done with our picks. I thought it was a good opportunity to test it out. We know that it works now. So, we'll be doing call-ins. I'm going to mix that into the mix. I do a lot of shows with panels where it's hard, so I'm going to have to find time to squeeze in shows and opportunities like this for people to call in. I'll try to do it at a better time in the evening when we have more people. I know it's the middle of the day on Saturday, so, what could you do? But I appreciate those of you that came in here. I appreciate for V-Man calling in and giving some great content and great conversation. I'm going to go relax a little bit. maybe take a nap. It's been a grueling few days. I actually got to do a lot of editing. So there's a lot of editing for a new promo I'm doing. Obviously, my reaction to all the picks, stuff like that. So take care, guys. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate you being here, buddy. On the other side of the world. Oh, unfortunate. But yeah, anyway, Kane, you just keep talking in the chat. I'll keep highlighting your chats. I appreciate you being here. Are you in Australia or New Zealand? Thank you, Jets Mess. Maybe you'll call in someday, or you just like to just chat in the chat, right? You're not a call-in guy. We need Rusty. We need Rusty to come in. GVH, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you coming in here, even in the middle of the day out of nowhere. New Zealand, so you got to get together with Braden. Braden Bethwaite, man. I don't know. I know New Zealand's a big country, but he thinks that he's the only Jet fan in the freaking country and, like, you know, in the continent. So you got to get in touch with him. Next time Braden's in here, you guys got to hook up. Maybe you could watch a game together someday or something. But, guys, again, thank you so much. I'll see you later. And go Jets, go Jets. Unbelievable. Let me play this for maybe the last time we might be seeing this. I like Hutchinson the best, and I don't think Linderbaum is worth a top 10 pick. Thibodeau slipped, and I am going to grab Thibodeau. The Giants took Khalil Elam. Good for them. Kenyon Green is a guarantee in my mind. He would be such a dream pick right here. Evan Neal is still on the board. I'm not going to pick this now. That 44 pick could be tight end. That 44 pick could be a good linebacker, a good safety. We could drop back one pick and pick up a second rounder for New Orleans. We got options here.